on YouTube. Okay, it's showing that we're live. And the comments are activated. So if you're over on Facebook, join in on the conversation. So I'm going to pull from the Goddess deck today. I haven't used this deck in a really long time, and I've been led today to use this deck. So how is everyone feeling? Okay, someone's on. I don't know who you are, but if you leave a comment, then I'll know who you are. Okay, so we're going to start there. So the first card we got is Setna, infinite supply. It says you are supplied for today and all of your tomorrow. So what I'm being told to tell you is you are being led to release worry and fear. Even when it seems like there's not enough, that's a test. And we talk about these tests all the time. So what Spirit is guiding me to tell you is to know that you alone have the ability to have that infinite supply available to you in a way that you're able to access it. If you aren't accessing it, it's because you're blocking it. So it's really important for you to take a time out and just be in flow with the energy that you're feeling right now. So the reason why I'm being told to tell you this, Spirit is telling me to talk to you a little bit about what had been going on with me. So lately, you all know that there's a lot of energy taking place. Some of us have been really tired. Some of us have been depressed. Some of us have been, doing things that we hadn't been doing in a really long time that mimic who we were before we began to awaken to the next level. And so instead of attempting to fight that or attempting to figure out what's wrong with me, what I have been doing was taking that extra time to connect with Spirit and to allow myself to be in flow with the cycle of what's going on. And so what this means is extra meditation, pulling out my cards, connecting with Spirit, and not even doing guided meditations, but just doing the silent meditation so that Spirit could speak to me and Spirit could guide me. So when you're experiencing moments like that, be easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't think what's wrong with me. Just allow yourself to be in flow with the natural cycles of your energetic self. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is a pattern. Whenever I'm ascending to the next level, I always go through moments like this. And it's just been really, really intense with this energy that's been taking place in the universe. So if you've been experiencing that, take a time out. It's really important that you're doing extra when it comes to your self-care, doing your salt baths, doing your meditations, going on nature walks, and also allowing yourself to slow down enough to receive from Spirit. Okay, so I'm being told to take a time out to receive why we're having these technical difficulties, because I don't know if the comments are still not working on YouTube, but I'm not seeing any. So let me just see what Spirit is attempting to tell us right now. Oh, okay, thank you. So what I was just told is it's really important for us to start taking a break from social media, for us to start taking a break from our electronics. Even if you take one day a week where you just have a no electronics day, where you just tune out and really allow yourself to be one with self, one with the divine, one with your family, and you just really take a break, because what's happening is our world is becoming centered around electronics, but it's not healthy for our spirit self. It keeps us disconnected from reality. It also has a really heavy influence on our vibration. It has a heavy influence on what we think, what we feel. It's not to say that you have to shut it down permanently, but it's saying it's time for you to take a break. So, okay, thank you. So the next card we got is Ostaria. It's the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. So, what I'm being told to ask you is what's something that you've been thinking about doing and what's been holding you back? What's been holding you back? So, really take a moment to ask yourself if there was nothing stopping me from showing up as my full self, if there was nothing stopping me from pursuing my dreams, what would I be doing right now? Spirit is telling you now is the time to begin pursuing those things. And when you think about what you would be doing, get in touch with why you aren't doing it. Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it self sabotage? And that's the point of healing. That's where you begin your healing. There's nothing stopping you from moving forward except you. But you have so much assistance right now. You have so much help from your divine spirit team. They're here waiting on your call so they can assist you with these projects. They can assist you with coming full circle into who you came here to be. But it's up to you to call on them. Okay, so I'm going to see what you all are saying and also see what those things are that you would be doing right now if nothing was holding you back. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Candace. Thank you so much for being on. Katie said huge shifts and life changes. Christine, so how this works is this is our Wednesday Live and Power Hour. The first person who joins live on YouTube, they get a personal card. But if you would like a personal reading, you can actually schedule one. It's not a time where I just pull cards for individuals unless Spirit guides me to do so. So, hi, Curtis. Welcome. Hi, Nikki. Thank you for being here. Hi, Latoya. Hi, Tahara, Gloria, and Victoria. Welcome. Okay, thank you, Victoria. I see that. So I'm over here now too because I noticed that there's no comments working on YouTube. So we also got make the best of every situation. With God, everything is possible. So again, it's talking about that open gateway for you to begin pursuing what's next for you. Last week we were being told like there's this urgent energy where spirit is saying, do it now, get started. What are you waiting for? It's time for you to step into your role as a healer, as a teacher, as whatever you're called to do. And so it's important that you understand that if you're co creating with the divine, there is absolutely nothing you can't do. And this message feels a bit redundant. And that's because there's someone or a group of us that still aren't moving forward. So the question still is what's holding you back? How often do you really sit and analyze the situation and say to yourself, okay, Spirit has guided me to this point and has told me to move forward in this direction, but yet I'm still right here. Why? How often do you self evaluate and have conversations with self so that you can get to the bottom of why you're not moving forward? If you haven't done that at all, or if you haven't done it in a while, now is the time for you to do that. So last week when we were on live, Spirit said, start your groups, start your pages, start teaching, start creating a platform where you're serving. And we had one person who did that, Naya. So her group's absolutely amazing, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, please do. But she started to live in her gift. So if you haven't done that, why? Why? You're ready and you're able. And here's the thing, ready means allowing yourself to be guided. And if you're choosing to surrender to the divine, which so many of you have said you're doing, then you will be guided on what to say. You will be guided on what to do. You will be guided on what's next. You don't even have to think about it. All you have to do is show up and be willing to receive, and then be willing to take action based on what you receive. The time is now for you to begin. There's people that are waiting for you. Okay. Okay, so Spirit just said talk to you about releasing. There's some of you that are holding on to pain from childhood. There's some of you that are still replaying the toxic tapes that just regurgitate the things you heard growing up, whether it was from family members or friends or teachers. And it's time for you to be willing to truly look at yourself as the divine being that you are. Because as long as you're holding on to those toxic beliefs, you're going to always stand still. And even if you make micro movements, you're not going to live or reach your full potential. So it's time for you, I'm hearing, to heal and to release. So one of the things that Spirit had me do a couple of days ago was to go revisit some areas where I used to live. Now, I went and did this, and it was all a part of my releasing process. I had no idea I was still holding on to pain from my first marriage. I got married in 98. I was married for a little over 14 years, and we divorced. And, we went through some things. We were a military family. And there was a period where I felt the emotions really hard and really deep. And it was so much so that it was kind of frightening. So I went into this place where I stopped feeling, and that pain was then buried. And so consciously, I just wasn't aware. But in order for me to move forward, and in order for me to step fully into my calling, all things must be healed and released. The things that are both that I'm consciously aware of, and the things that I'm not aware of. So what I've been doing is I've been asking Spirit to help me to release all of the things that I'm both consciously and unconsciously aware of. And as a result, this is what happened. So that's something that I recommend you do. Ask that Spirit. And when you ask, it's always coming from that state of gratitude. Thank you so much for assisting me with releasing all of the things that I'm both consciously and unconsciously aware of. And just do that daily. Do that daily and be open to allowing yourself to release. I've been going through bouts of just crying out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? And I knew what was happening. So I just went with it. But after taking this little trip and revisiting some of my old stomping grounds and just allowing myself to cry, I felt so much better, so much better. And from that releasing, I was able to put another layer of forgiveness on top of it. And so it's not enough for us to release the hurt, release the pain, or release the trauma. We also are called to forgive. That's when it's truly gone. When we can say, you know what, I forgive you, and I'm grateful for you playing the role in my life that you played. So I'm hearing childhood trauma is big. For those of us that are on today, childhood trauma is big. So you're being called to really take time out to release that. We've been talking about calling the fragmented pieces of our soul home. You're being called to do that. Calling the fragmented pieces of your soul home from every dimension, every time, every life, every direction. Telling yourself, come home to me now. This is where you belong. I love you. I am whole and complete. And as you're doing that, deep breathe, close your eyes, and be in a meditative state. And you will start to feel those pieces of yourself re-enter you energetically. You will start to feel that. It's an amazing experience. So I challenge you to do that before our next live. I challenge you to do that and then share in the group what your experience was like. Okay. So let's see what you all are saying. Niet said entertainment, take to the stage. Oh, yes. And I see that you've been working on that lately. So that's really good. Gigi said, yes, nothing you can't do as a co-creator. Hi, Lacey. Welcome. Hey, Quita. Gigi said, I received this truth. Lacey said, happy to be here. I was hanging out in YouTube land. Yes. And this is why I go live on both, because we actually had some technical difficulties over there on YouTube. So I am live over there still, but I'm not sure if it is, if they can see me. I see there's 4 people over there, but I don't know. So we'll just roll with it. Welcome, Nancy. Gigi said, yes, revisit it. Definitely had to let go. Writing helped me with this. Yes. Hi, Crystal. Welcome. Hey, Quita. So yes, that's another thing. And speaking of Quita and we were having a conversation, I think it was a couple of months ago, maybe last month. And Spirit was telling her to tell me to write so that I could see the patterns, recognize the patterns. And by recognizing patterns, you're able to learn yourself, right? So writing is definitely a good thing. And Spirit had been telling me the same thing, write it down. But here's the thing, when you can recognize those patterns, then you don't freak out. If I wasn't aware of what was going on right now, the way I was feeling, let me tell you, I have been telling you all how I have been eating I was going to say my butt off, but it's more like I have been eating my booty on. Okay. Like I was just like, what in the world is going on? I haven't eaten like this and I can't tell you how long. And Spirit and I have been having some conversations. Spirit was even like, okay, wait a minute. I kid you not. Like literally Spirit speaks to me. And so one day I'm just snacking and Spirit's like, this is how you blew up in the first place. What are you doing? And get your booty back in yoga, And so I'm like, okay, got it, But because I understand that there's a few things that happen. Sometimes when there's a shift in the atmosphere, like right now with this full moon that we're going to have, also, each time I am ascending to the next level, I go through this energetic, I won't even call it turmoil, but that's what it feels like, And what it does is Spirit is calling for me to rest, for me to take a break, take a time out, and just allow my physical self to prepare for the energetic tasks that are ahead. Because in order for us to show up fully energetically, we got to be physically equipped and physically able. So that's why rest is important. That's why healthy eating is important. That's why movement is important. And after Spirit was telling me to get busy again with my movement, I just dance right now until I start at this new yoga studio. I dance every day, So what I'm being told to tell you, so it's really important that you start to track your patterns, because then you don't freak out. You're not sitting there, because one of the things that I also realize is when we are in this energetic shift where things may feel like it's in a bit of a valley, it's that freak out that manifests what we're freaking out about, So in the past, when I would have been eating like that, I'd be saying things like, oh my goodness, I'm getting fat. And I'd be pulling at every roll and tugging at every new, love handle, emphasis on love, and because I would be focused on my body changing in a negative way, I would be manifesting that. So what I started doing was looking in the mirror and being like, I'm so curvy and I am beautiful and I'm sexy and I love it. And, and really touching my body in a loving way, because by doing that, what we're doing now is we're creating that energy of being beautiful and sexy. And then we're not creating getting fat or feeling ugly or whatever it is, and it's not just from a physical standpoint, it's also from an emotional standpoint. One of the things that Spirit was leading me to encourage is something that we did way back when this group was called the 21 Day I Am Challenge. Now, those of you that have been here since the beginning, you remember the name of that group. You remember what it consisted of, what we were doing. And so what we did every day for 21 consecutive days is we had declarations that we would say to ourselves in the mirror. And Spirit is saying it's important for us to create a cycle of doing that now. So just write down declarations to yourself. Some call them affirmations. You're declaring or affirming to yourself in the mirror. Think about what it is you'd like to be more of, what it is you'd like to release, and then start it with, I am so grateful. And then whatever it is you're choosing to be more of. And 21 consecutive days, say it to yourself in the mirror. Now, the reason the 21 is so important and the consecutive days is so important is because that's the length of time it takes for your unconscious mind to rewire itself. So if you skip a day or miss a day, no worries, just day one starts the next day. And you'll see that things begin to shift. Why? Because your unconscious mind is now vibrating at a different frequency. And it's that vibration that allows you to attract what you're saying. It's not even about manifesting it, because everything that we desire in life, it already exists for us in a parallel universe. What we're doing is we're attracting it. We're matching the vibration of its frequency and we're attracting it. So one of the things Naya did in her group was had a picture where she look at the picture and give us feedback. And it was so funny because she actually gave me the feedback to start meditating differently. And so I was like, it's so funny because I just kind of toned down on the guided meditation, and I've been doing more of just the breath focus, where I'm just silent and I'm just focusing on my breathing, because that's when my mind is not being directed in any place at all. And I'm just open to receive whatever Spirit has for me. And so yesterday, what Spirit had me start doing, and this is something that you all can do too, is to start intentionally matching the vibration of the things that I am choosing to have in my life. And so literally I would physically feel myself vibrating differently. And by doing this, I began to see it wasn't necessarily the things themselves, it was more energy. So of course, when we're doing visualization, we see ourselves living in that moment. We see ourselves, having the things we're choosing to create. But this was more on an energetic level. And that is where the power lies. So what I was seeing wasn't necessarily the tangible physical things that I'm manifesting. It was the energy. It was me seeing myself connecting to source and vibrating at that frequency of being connected to source. It was me seeing and feeling my energy matching what I'm choosing to create. So take some time to practice doing that. It is an amazing thing. Like my whole body was just pulsing, it was pulsing, and it feels amazing. It feels amazing. So do that and see what happens as a result. Okay. So what we also have is walking away. Oh, okay. Quita said I was your first comment on YouTube. So you got the card that I pulled for you, because Spirit's like, you don't have to know who it is. You can still deliver an accurate message without the name. Hey, Alatha, welcome. Quita said January 24th will be a one of being in my awakening. A year ago, all these moon cycles were hitting back to back for like 2 weeks, I remember. And what's so funny? Yesterday, I shared a Facebook memory, and what I said, I believe it said, I feel like myself again. And I thought, this is so funny, because literally I had just said that earlier. I was talking to someone. I say, I'm feeling like myself again after doing the releasing. So yeah, these cycles are real, and thank goodness for Facebook, I was able to see, wow. So Niet said, my dream journal kept repeating the words and sequences of performance. This is what I've decided to jump into. And you know, Niet is so amazing because through your performances, you're able to serve. Your messages are so powerful and so empowering that that's how you serve. So we don't have to all serve in the same way. In fact, we're not called to serve in the same way. If we can find what we love and we can serve from there, that's where the magic occurs. That's where the domino effect occurs. So when we're fighting against what our soul loves and what our soul is calling us to do, then we're fighting against what we came here for, you know? So I'm so incredibly happy that you're doing that. Katie Joe said, yes, our projection on ourselves is huge. Love it. So powerful, connecting your energy to source. It really is. It's absolutely amazing. And one of the visions, what I first saw was a pyramid, but it was like vibrations were coming off of it. And then source appeared as just a bright light. And it was at the top of the pyramid. And then I could see like my vibration begin to flow into the vibration of source. It was just amazing. So start doing that and see what happens for you. See what a difference and how powerful your manifesting potential and ability becomes. So walking away, what we're being called to do is walk away from the things that just don't serve us, whether it's things that are self inflicted, whether it's the things that we're allowing others to inflict. And when I say that, I'm reminded that even the things that others are doing, it's still self-inflicted. You know, we have a choice in it all. And the people that are in our lives, whether they serve a high vibrating purpose or a low vibrating purpose, are all created through what we've created. So I'm being told to tell you it's time for you to accept and know that there is better out there. So many of us, we just kind of accept what is there because we don't believe that there's something better. We don't believe that we deserve more. Or, you know, we can say things like, well, this isn't so bad. I mean, this is good, you know. Okay, I just was told in a job situation, someone is doing that right now in a job situation. I apologize, my lashes in my eye. Um, and if you allow yourself to stay stuck in good, then you're never going to reach great. Never going to reach great. So spirit is telling you to stop settling. Stop settling. I'm hearing, what is it that you truly desire? Do you even know? Do you even know? Like, if you were to leave a legacy, what would it be? What would you like it to be? If you were to say yes and play a vital role in helping shift the collective consciousness of humanity, what would you be doing? Like, take a time out and really ask yourself. You know, so often we focus on what we'd like to create for self. And that's so important. You know, self love is the best love. And we got to love self before we can love anyone else. We got to serve self first. But how often, when we're manifesting, do we focus on how we're going to serve? How often do we do that? So, what Spirit is telling me to remind you of is to ask yourself, what legacy are you choosing to leave when you leave this earth in the physical form? And if you know, go ahead and leave it in the comments. If you don't, take a time out to really get in touch with that. Let's see what you all are saying. Hey, Javi. Hey, Ravender. So we're on Facebook. We're on Facebook today because YouTube was not allowing the comments to show. So we're there too, but we're interacting here today. Gigi said, I receive it for the job situation. A lot of set my service keeps freezing. Oh man, I have to catch the replay. I love being here with you all. Yes, yes. You know, so many people get stuck even in making good money. You know, I'm making good money. It's secure. I've got medical. You know what I mean? I've been here for umpteen years. And those reasons are all good. But if that's your only reason or your only reasons, it comes from a place of lack. And when you're in a place of lack, you receive more lack. So although you may be financially abundant, right? And so you're not thinking of the lack that exists emotionally, energetically, mentally, to stay in a place where you're not happy or it doesn't feel like this is what you're called to do. What is that doing for your spirit? And I would never, unless spirit gave me a direct message for someone to say, leave a job now, I won't tell you that. I'm not receiving that right now for anyone. But what you can do is you can pursue your calling at the same time. Sometimes just having that little bit of energy and effort that you put into your calling makes everything better. And I don't know, like chocolate, it makes it all better. I could sit there with a piece of vegan chocolate and everything's better. So let's see. I'm going to pull another card for us from the energy deck. Right now, the energy feels really like high right now. It's okay. So we got attachment. Okay. So I'm being told to read from the book so that you can receive the affirmation for this. So I'm going to read from the book and then I'll give you whatever message spirit gives me after. So what it says is perceived need and the choice to let go. In the upright position, this card reveals that your passage forward is being stopped by strong attachments to old patterns or people from the past. The chain at your wrist is bolted to fear from the past or desperation about the future. Although you may wear the mask of pretense or even contentment, you simply can't seem to go forward. The stuff that's keeping you stuck could be physical addictions, emotional patterns, or even old relationships. Are you living in fear, addicted to old unhealthy habits, or so desperate about the future that you can't be happy now? If so, the chains that bind you could be of your own making. This card is telling you that it's time to take action you need to break out of your chains and move forward to an open, free, healthy, and authentically happy life. It may take some courage and effort to let go, but know that you are capable of doing it. Until you do, the difficult energy will just repeat itself, keeping you stuck. And so this is actually a follow-up to what we just received with the walking away. But what the affirmation is I release attachment and choose peace. I am strong, free, and able to choose what honors me. So whenever I do any sort of affirmation or declaration, I started with, I am so grateful. I release attachment and choose peace. I am strong, free, and able to choose what honors me. And I end it with, and so it is. So Spirit was telling me to read from the book so that you could get that affirmation. So because this message has come up twice, I would just suggest, even if you don't have a full list, just take that one and every day say that to yourself. I am so grateful. I release attachment and choose peace. I am strong, free, and able to choose what honors me. So, and so it is. Welcome, Anne. Thank you for being here. And yet said, create an avenue where people are free to utilize their talents. Good, good. Lanny said, true, true. Hi, Shalise. Welcome. Hi, Julian. Welcome. Welcome, Bridget. Oh, thank you. Yes, Julian. So I am on YouTube as well. Typically, I go live on both places, but I'm interacting on YouTube. And we have 11 people on right now on Facebook. So Spirit is reminding us to be mindful of our thoughts and utilize that energy. Typically when I see 11s or any form of numbers ones, I have declarations that I state to myself out loud or in my mind, depending on what I'm doing and where I'm at. Because during that time, it's like from your lips or your mind straight to source. You know, it's lightning speed. So it just really amplifies. But yeah, but we were having technical difficulties. So I am here now interacting. So thank you so much for joining. I'll be doing the drawing at the end, okay? Um, Katie Jo said, OMG, yes. Victoria said, letting go opens up room for all the good stuff. Exactly. Yes, said, I am grateful. I release attachment and choose peace. Lanny said, love that. I release attachment and choose peace. With that, we elevate to a higher level. Yes. Shalise said, hey, Shalise. Yes. So, okay. So what Spirit was just saying is there are times when we seem stuck, right? But I don't know if you've seen that video. It's a funny video where it says me in my life. And the little boy was like, scared that he was going to drown and all he had to do was stand up, you know, like literally he was screaming and crying and just so afraid, but all he had to do was stand up. And so that's true for us. Like so many times we create these mountains out of molehills. Like we literally will be guided or led by fear or doubt or just lack of feeling worthy. And it's so much bigger in our minds. And so that energy that we put into that doubt or that fear, why not put it into our worthiness, our capabilities? You know, why not look at things on the brighter side? Now, we understand that systematically, the world is designed to have us look at things not on the brighter side. Because when we're stuck in that cycle of low vibrating energy, it's really easy to control us. You know, if our energy is low vibrating, then we're not equipped to be in control of what we create. We create everything through our energy, through our vibration. So it's big business to keep us vibrating low. But we do have a choice. All we have to do is stand up. So the next time you are in a situation and you get that feeling to move forward, and then you don't, take a time out right then and there and say, okay, wait a minute, what is this? You know, what's this? What is this? What's stopping me? Let me get in touch with it. You know, sometimes we got to just be our own therapist, you know, to have our own therapy sessions. I mean, there's times you can catch me driving in my car and I'm having talks with Spirit. You know, sometimes Spirit will be talking to me in here, and then sometimes Spirit will be talking out here and I'm listening in here. You know, whatever it takes for us to walk ourselves through the things that attempt to hinder us from being our best selves. And then if you are in a state of vibrating a bit lower, that's okay too, because there's lessons there. As long as you don't beat yourself up or identify yourself with that low vibrating state of being, and you allow yourself to still see yourself as a divine being, you're able to get the lessons. And then when you step back into that high vibrational state, you're even more powerful than before. It's all about your perception and the action that you take. So let's see what else is coming up for us. Okay. So we got appreciation, and it's upside down. And so typically when things come in upside down, it indicates there's some sort of block or it's an area of improvement. So what Spirit is telling me is with this deck, to do the book, because the affirmations are important for you all to have. And then I'll give you whatever message Spirit brings to me after. So, and also this has been happening quite a bit on our Empower Hours. But if you notice, this card is 5, and then 5 and 1 is 6. So Spirit has been reminding us almost weekly that everything is in divine order. Even when it seems like it's turned upside down, it's still according to divine order. So if we allow ourselves to just flow with it, then we open ourselves up to receive the lessons and the blessings that are in store. And we open ourselves to be better equipped to serve. So let's see what the message is here. Okay. So this card is about choosing gratitude. And when it's reversed, it's warning that you're missing some important opportunities. You've lost your sense of gratitude and have gotten caught up in the prickly brambles of negativity and possibly even despair. Stop focusing on what you don't have, even if it seems to be a lot. Instead, find something to appreciate about yourself and your life. Choose to focus on the little things with gratitude and acknowledgement. Your refusal to appreciate even the small pleasures will cause them to drop from your hands and keep you stuck in some of your problem patterns, causing you to laminate your lack even more. Let go of the negative focus and spend some time every day acknowledging what you have to be grateful for. Remember, the more you appreciate your life, the more your life will appreciate and value. And so the affirmation here is, I choose to see and appreciate the beauty and value around me. I increase my gratitude every day, and I'm attracting even more to be grateful for. So the way I would say this to myself is, I am so grateful. I choose to see and appreciate the beauty and value around me. I increase my gratitude every day, and I am attracting even more to be grateful for. And so it is. So, this all makes sense because we've been talking about doing those declarations in the mirror each day, right? And so Spirit is actually giving us some declarations to do, but also stating the declarations starting with, I am so grateful for. When you're grateful, it's really hard to vibrate low when you're in gratitude. Even when you start feeling a little bit down or you start feeling a little out of whack, just instantly find something to be grateful for. So when I was going through that period of, and I was enjoying it, by the way, because I love food, but when I was going through that period of just eating like crazy, and then when I looked in the mirror, there was never a time in my past where I could look at my body, getting bigger and find beauty in it, but to do that, I felt really, really good, and in that feeling good, guess what I was able to do? Easily break the cycle, right? Because it's a cycle, it's a pattern, whether it's emotional or physical or whatever it is. Typically it starts with, we're doing something that does not serve our highest good. And then after we do it, we think about what we just did. Then we feel bad. And then whatever that feel bad does, it makes us feel worse because we go right back into that cycle that created this in the first place, So if you're in a toxic relationship, and you don't give yourself the self-love that you deserve. And so you seek love outside of self. And that person, they have these spurts where they make you feel good, right? They make you feel good because you don't already. And then after they drop you, they pick you up and they drop you, then you feel bad. And then you feel like the only way to feel good is to go back. And again, it's a cycle. Okay, so what I just was told is someone is currently in a toxic relationship and it's time for you to get out. It's time for you to break the cycle. It's time for you to love you more. And for all of us, it's time for us to love us more. What is there not to love? What is there not to love? You are so magnificent with all your divinity just shining through. What is there not to love? Look at yourself in the mirror and start with your eyes. No one has those eyes. Even if you look like your mom or dad, or you have a child that looks like you, no one has those eyes. No one has your nose. No one has your voice. No one has your heart. Like my freckles. No one has freckles exactly where my freckles are. We are unique and divine. And we came here to show up in the vibration of love so that we can shift the collective to be more loving. But it starts with you. It starts with you. And it starts with you loving you. So just take a time out every day for the next 21 days. We're going to do some mirror time. Okay. This is an assignment that Spirit is saying to give. And, in REM, we get quite a few assignments. We don't typically get assignments here, but Spirit is saying to give this for 21 consecutive days. Take these declarations, and if you feel led to add more, do that. State them starting with gratitude, and take time to look at yourself and see your beauty. And if you have a hard time seeing your physical beauty, start with your inner beauty. That's where I started. I would pick myself apart, but I chose to start here because in here, I'm a beauty queen. You can't tell me nothing. And here I am, America's next top model. You know what I mean? And here, my spirit, my soul, and that's what matters, is how beautiful you are on the inside. So start there. And as you're starting there and you're feeling that beauty within, look at your outer self, right? Because you got to feel good about everything about you in order to vibrate. Love, light, self-acceptance, honor, so start there. So let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, you're so welcome, Julian. Thank you so much for being here. Katie Jo said, yep, been stuck in this cycle for 4 years. Thanks so much. You're so welcome. Hi, Michi. Welcome. Michi said, man, oh man, I receive and release. Thank you. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Is there anything else for this card? Okay, I just told it's just time for you to get with the program of loving self, because really it's that lack of self-love that keeps us from everything. If you really felt worthy to receive blessings and worthy to receive the best, then it would be easy to manifest it. And it doesn't matter how much you know about manifesting. If you don't feel worthy, then unconsciously you don't believe that you're capable of having it. And that's where it starts. It starts with the unconscious mind. That's why I'm always stressing the healing of the unconscious mind, because that is what drives us. That unconscious mind happens automatically. Think about it. Look at us breathing and stuff without even being aware. Now that I've said something, we're now focusing on our breathing. But before, we just do it. We're not saying breathe. Our unconscious is doing that. And that's the same thing with the trauma. It shows up when we least expect it, and it takes over. And it doesn't matter how much we desire change consciously until our unconscious mind is on board and our unconscious mind is convinced, we're going to continue to get more of the same. So Gloria said, I am a rare jewel. Yes. And Lacey said, self-love is powerful. Yes, it is. And Gloria said, definitely should focus more on self-love. Time has permitted itself for it. Lanny said, yes. And Gloria, I'm going to ask that you cancel delete should, because should falls under lack language. So what you can replace should with is it serves my highest good. It sends a totally different vibration to the universe. So definitely should focus more on self-love, or definitely serves my highest good to focus more on self-love. So just really, if you guys haven't downloaded that freebie, Everything Starts With Remembering, it's the free interactive ebook, and that lack language versus abundance language list is included in that. I would say do so, because that is so powerful when we have our language in the vibration of abundance. The whole idea is to be just vibrating in abundance from every angle, every way we can. And language is so, I'm hearing important and powerful all at the same time. So, so let's pull one more card. Okay, which one? Okay, so I was told to take the one that stayed in my hand. Oh, and look at that. Door to romance. Door to romance. Okay. So what I was just told, I was told to read from the book, but then I was also told, but this door to romance, Spirit is talking about that self-love. Spirit is talking about that self-love, because until we're fully loving self, we can't attract someone that's going to love us fully, right? Because we're going to attract someone that's loving themselves at the same level that we're loving ourselves, right? So the reason why a lot of relationships don't last before we go through our healing is because we attracted a vibrational match. And that's true for everything in life. Everything that you have or don't have is just about your frequency being matched. So if you are someone that is in a relationship and you're seeking to improve your relationship, it's important that you start with self-improvement. So often we tell our significant other what they're not doing or what they could be doing. But how often do we look in the mirror and say, this is what you could be doing, you know? And even when we have those talks with our significant others, how often do we ask them, how can I serve you better? You know, if we're feeling like we're not getting served, how often do we start the conversation with, how can I serve you better? And end it there, you know? And then if you're someone that's not in a relationship, Spirit is telling you as well, it's time for you to start with loving you more so that you can attract that person that's whole and complete. And we talked about this last week too. It came up where, you know, we're often taught about our better half, and it implies that we're half, you know, as opposed to whole. So we attract someone that's half, right? And how ridiculous is that when if we're whole and complete, we're going to attract someone whole and complete. And we wonder why relationships have so much turmoil, because we're walking around looking for our better half, claiming that we're only half. And then we're attracting half, and we have two halves attempting to make a whole. Now, when you have a pie, that may be true, right? But if you think about it, if you have two halves of a pie to make a whole, it's going to fit a little awkward. There's going to be a seam, a divide somewhere. And no matter how much you smooth it over, that pie is not going to look like a very beautiful, tasty sweet potato pie that's vegan, by the way, that's just whole, right? It's not going to look the same. So it's important for us to start building ourselves up and showing up whole and complete and loving ourselves as we are, taking time to reflect on how we can improve, and then also understanding the power that we have to shift and change all situations around us, including those situations that involve others. So let's see what the book is saying for this card. Okay. I've yet to make a vegan sweet potato pie, but it is on my list of things to make. So, the door to romance, new beginnings in love. Whether you're looking for a new relationship or just more love in the relationship you're in, this door with a heart opens onto new beginnings in your experience. A new love may be arriving, and you are being brought together by a strong, resonant connection. This may be a call from a past life, or it may be a new tenderness about to bloom into heartfelt affection. This relationship already exists, an energetic potential. So when this card appears in your spread, make sure you are projecting the kind of self-loving energy that you want to receive from others. And let's just cancel delete want. It's lack that you choose to receive from others. You know, when we use want, Spirit gives us more want. So be aware that the universe returns your self-caring treatment to you. It's ready to open the door. Are you? So here's the affirmation. As I open the door to my own self-love, I attract more and more loving tenderness to me. So I am so grateful. As I open the door to my own self-love, I attract more and more loving tenderness to me. And so it is. So pretty amazing. Hi, Mama Brenda. Welcome. Miji said, whoa. Lanny said, right on, sister. Katie said, yes. Lanny said, word. Hi, Amber. Welcome. Katie Joe says so much on wholeness. Yes, yes, yes. It's so important because here's the thing. We were being called last week to really, really step in and do what we came here to do. You know, that whole time thing where Spirit was saying, stop wasting time. And we know that time is an illusion of this physical 3D realm, right? We know that it doesn't exist in spirit realm. However, we do have a calling, a very specific calling while we are here in this form in this lifetime. And so when Spirit was telling me to talk about the wasting time, Spirit is saying, you only got so much time in this form, in this life. So get to it. Get to it. You know, it's so important. And as I'm saying this, I'm being reminded of a situation at Spiritual Happy Hour where one of the sisters that was there actually, she had, I can't remember what it was, but whatever it was, when she accepted what she was being called to do, and when she did it, then I was able to release what I was being called to release, but I couldn't release it because it had to be used as an example for her. And Spirit showed us how when we procrastinate or lag on what we're called to do, when we're called to do it, we're actually holding up others from elevating. Some we're holding them up from even awakening. Like there are people that are still in that slumber, and they're waiting to hear from you. They're waiting to hear your voice. They're waiting for you to say just the right thing that Spirit tells you to say to help them wake up, right? But if you're sitting there like, oh, I don't know, should I say this? How are they going to take this? Then, you know, if Spirit gives it to you and tells you to do it, just do it. You may not understand why. And sometimes it's not for us to understand in that moment, but you'll understand when you're meant to. And the person or people you're called to serve will just be in a gratitude state, a state of gratitude, whether they express that or not. They're going to be in that state because once you awaken, you're just like super happy, super grateful, and just ready to take on the world. And then the cycle continues. Once they wake up, they're now able to help others, and it just keeps going. It keeps going. So I'm just hearing, when Spirit guides you, do it. Do it. Release doubt, release lack. Do you truly believe that you have the power to create anything? That's a question. And if you'd like to answer it in the comments, please do. If you don't really know, take time to think about that. You know, we say it, oh, I can create anything, I can manifest anything, blah, blah, blah. We say a lot of things, right? But do you believe it? Do you feel it in your soul? Do you know it? I happen to know that I can create anything. And what I realized yesterday during meditation is Spirit is still working with me on patience, because I know what I'm creating. It's happening, it's coming. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, get here already. Like, I've been waiting for centuries. Like, come on, let's get to it, you know? And Spirit is like, just stop, and just follow, be guided. And it's coming. It's here. It's just be in flow, you know? So do you really believe that you can create anything? Because when you do, then there's nothing that's going to stop you from moving forward in the direction that Spirit guides you. Nothing. So let's see what you all are saying. Katie Joe said, powerful words. You said, yes, I do. Hey, Tanae, welcome. We are wrapping up. So if you feel led to do so, please watch the replay. And I'm going to pull the drawing. So Katie Jo said, yes, I have the power to create anything. Gigi said, took a while to get here, but yes, I know I can. And it's so amazing. So amazing. You know, and even those of us that do know, you know, and do believe, it's still important for us to be mindful of our energy, right? Because believing and knowing isn't enough. There's so many moving parts to this whole formula of manifesting. So many moving parts. So today we talked a bit about language. You know, we also talked about that guidance we receive, that self-love, that worthiness. You know, there's so many moving parts. So it's important for us to be aligned totally and completely. Every part of us vibrating at that frequency of that belief that we can create anything. Our unconscious mind vibrating at the frequency of that knowing that we can create anything. So, really important. And, in the Manifest Like a Master Abundance workshop, we go over this and so much more, so much more. We even go over sex magic. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, but sex is actually a really powerful tool when it comes to manifesting. And so that's like one of the most exciting parts. So Julian said, I know I have the power. I have on multiple platforms. It seems I've lost my way as of lately. And when you say as of lately, has it just been like the past couple of weeks, the past month, or has it been like longer periods of time? And while we're doing that, I'm going to just take a peek at something really quick because I have something to tell you all and I have to make sure that my mom's not on. At first, I told her, I'm like, Mom, don't join us because I have an announcement that you can't hear. And I said, well, you know what? Just join and I'll tell you when to get off. So let me just see. Mom, if you're on YouTube, get off now. Go ahead and get off now, Mother dear. Okay, so I am going to pull the winner. And also, I'll be doing this again on our next live as well. So we had a drawing in our group that I would be raffling off a free recorded reading. So what that means is I will connect to spirit and give you a message that spirit gives me to give to you, an individual message. And each entry is when you add 7 people or invite 7 people to join us here in the United Light Beings Awakening group, you have an entry. So for every 7th person, your name gets entered into the drawing. So let's see who will be getting the free recorded reading today. Okay. Oh, look at that. Niet. I don't even know if you're still on, but congratulations, Niet. You will be getting the free reading. So it's a recorded reading. So if you actually have anything specific that you'd like me to connect with spirit on, send me an inbox and I will. And then I'll also give you the message that spirit gives me to give to you. So thank you for those of you that did invite 7 or more people to the group. Thank you for doing that. And if you're on today or you catch the replay, you can do that. And again, every 7th person, you get entered into the drawing. So here's the announcement. The 23rd is my mother's birthday. And also I have been planning a trip to go see my grandmother, my dad's mom, because she's getting older. And, sometimes older people, they kind of know when their time is getting short and they start making comments, letting us know. And so my mom was coming here and her cat had her leg amputated. She had cancer. And so they took it off and she's recovering. So my mom's trip got postponed. So I happened to schedule a trip and I'll be arriving on my mother's birthday, which is the 23rd. Now, typically when I do this, I always pay attention to what I have going on so that I'm able to still show up, but I'll be traveling next Wednesday. So we will not be having our Wednesday Live and Power Hour on the 23rd, but we will resume the following Wednesday. And also for those of you that typically attend Spiritual Happy Hour is actually going to be online this month. We're going to do it virtually. So the great thing about this is those of you that are not in Washington State will be able to join as well. So this is really exciting. So this trip is actually serving multiple purposes. One of the things that I have been talking to Spirit about with me moving out of state this year, I have a group that attends Spiritual Happy Hour regularly. And as of right now, it's an in-person thing. And I've really been considering making it virtual when I move and then also doing something locally that's in person as well. So I guess Spirit had plans because, again, I usually will arrange my travel where I don't miss these things. And this time I just so happen to be out. So if you like more information on that, let me know and I will give it to you. I'll also probably be creating a separate event and then you can, join us if you choose. Okay. So let's see what you all are saying. In the last few months. Okay. Okay. So what I'm being told to tell you is you're being called to really evaluate yourself. You are really in a period of, I'm hearing being forced into elevating. And of course we have free will, so it's not so much like you don't have a choice, but it's almost like sometimes spirit will shake things up to a point where it's so uncomfortable that you start seeking change, and that's what's happening with you right now. You're being called to serve on a deeper level. So whatever you're doing right now, it's much deeper, your calling. And so spirit is telling you to do some self-evaluating and really get in touch with the direction that you're being guided to take. And also really accessing your ability to receive guidance, Spirit's been showing you the way, but you've kind of just been ignoring it to a degree. So do some self-evaluating and see what else you receive to build upon what I just got for you. So, well, does anyone have any questions before we end our call today? Okay. Okay. So while I'm waiting to see if you have questions, I'm being told to pull one more card from the Goddess deck, going on the bottom, and then also one from the Self-Care deck. So we got Damara, guiding children. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. Huh. Huh. Julian, what's your connection to this? Okay. Okay. So I'm being told to tell you to explore this, Julian. So that's why Spirit said to pull one from here and one from the other deck. So Julian, that was for you. Um, and so this is for us collectively. So okay, so what we got is progress. Progress. And it says, charge forward, be willing to make mistakes. Charge forward, be willing to make mistakes. So, okay. So Spirit is saying literally, yes, charge forward. And Spirit is saying also shift the way you view mistakes. Literally, it's been a theme. Like everything has been about vibration. It's so important. And the reason why is because the world around us, it's changing and it's shifting so much in a way that is not necessarily high vibrating. So it's so important for us to be aware and in control of our vibration more than ever before, right? So, a mistake, what is a mistake? A mistake really doesn't even exist, right? There's no such thing as a mistake because you are in two phases of life all the time. You're either in your lesson or you're in your blessing, right? So, neither qualifies as being a mistake. But the message here is for you to charge forward, take action. Whatever spirit has been guiding you to do, like we talked about last week, it's just about lifting that one foot and bringing it down in a forward motion, and then lifting that other foot and bringing it down in a forward motion, and repeat, 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 repeat. And then also, Spirit is just saying, be really mindful of your perception, how you're perceiving things, how you speak of things. Be really mindful of your energy. Pay attention to your energy and the vibration when you're in a resting state. Pay attention to what the energy around you feels like when things are safe or high vibrating or feel good, so that when things are a little off, you're aware. Start paying attention. Start being mindful of the energy from others, even, right? Because we've all heard that energy doesn't lie, and it's true. You're being called to operate in energy that feels good in your interactions, because as you're charging forward, you may be forced to bring up some things where it doesn't feel so good. And that's okay. Stick with it, move forward, allow yourself to process and release. And when you do, what's waiting on the other side is another level, another stair, and you're ascending more into that love vibration, that peace vibration, that bliss vibration, that abundance vibration. Okay. So thank you so much. Um, Lacey said, thanks, Nahkila. I will be replaying this. It felt like a personal reading. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Katie said, thank you so much. You're so welcome. Thank you. And let's see, we have two more comments. Julian said, okay, and thank you for your words. You're so welcome. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. Lacey said, Julian said, my youngest daughter has Down syndrome, and I'm in the process of learning sign language to teach her. Okay, awesome, 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 great. Because, yeah, I'm like, okay, Spirit said that is for Julian. So, just checking to see. Oh, okay. I was asking, was there anything else? And the T says, make tea, not war. And so the message here is to not be at war with self. Don't fight yourself. Don't fight yourself. Even when you are being guided and those toxic thoughts pop up, be gentle. Don't fight yourself. You're so, talk to yourself like you would a child. Because really, when we experience trauma that sticks, it happens from birth to 7. And for some of us, it's extended beyond birth, past life stuff. So literally, it's your inner child that is guiding you and leading you when your unconscious takes over in those fear states or those doubt states. So when you're talking to yourself, talk to yourself with peace, with love, the way you would a child, okay? So thank you so much for joining. If you are interested in the Manifest Like a Master Abundance workshop, please let me know and I can get you that information. And if you would like to schedule a personal reading, you can do that. I can give you that information as well. So thank you so much. I leave you with peace, love, bliss, and abundance. And I will talk to you not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. Have a beautiful rest of your day.